All right. Pretty good, pretty neat. Here we go. Around and round. Welcome. Wednesday night. The glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and I'm your host, Pat Renwick. And I'll tell you, it's happening again. It's like when the Hulk, when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk.
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you. Last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it. And it's Wednesday night. Time for the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. And I want to tell you, Bass Galaxy, I am beyond elated again to bring you the General Larry Nixon tonight. That's right. We here at Stray Cass are bringing you Larry Nixon, the legend, the General. The General.
Yeah.
General.
Yeah.
Hey, I obviously we're excited, man. Anytime that you get a stepping stone or a foundation of the sport to come on this show, it's a big deal to us as bass fishing fans. And you know who's a big bass fishing fan? He is the 2021 Bass Nation Opens competitor Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, co-founder of the Tightrope Baby Popcorn Nelius Firework Jig. Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
That is you. Did I get it all?
I think you got it all.
Tightropefishing.com. Did I get that part?
Super.
Super fishing, tightropefishing.com.
What about concrete?
Concrete hard. Concrete hard, Ryan.
Not just hard.
Can you play that? Can you play that music?
The concrete hard music?
Yes, we have that music actually. Concrete hard Chicago angler Ryan Whitaker, 2021 Bass Opens competitor. Yes, that's it. Ryan, dude, seriously, things are going great for you. Congratulations so far on the success of the jig. It keeps escalating escalating.
Yeah.
And the excitement, of course, is building for you as an individual also fishing the opens. And
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, dude, it's getting closer and closer and closer.
It's getting too close too fast. Yeah.
as we speak. And Ryan, every week, besides probing some of the what's all that noise?
The probing.
What was that noise?
A lot of rustling.
Yeah, there was like a herd of cattle
Sounded
went
like
through.
you were looking through your keys
The-
through a pile of leaves or something.
So, you know, Ryan, you know, every week, besides probing great people for information and statistics, you also conjure up the Tin Cup Whiskey Word of the Week.
We do whiskey stuff.
Yeah, you do whiskey stuff here.
Yeah.
And what is that?
We're just going to go with a general word this week.
Yes, generally speaking, what would it be?
General.
The General.
Yeah.
Wow. So every time you hear the word general, you can take a drink of a beverage of your choice, reminding you again to drink responsibly. And you could drink Gatorade.
Sure. Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, or, of course, Tin Cup Mountain
Yeah,
Whiskey.
and you can put Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey in all of those drinks we mentioned, too, if you want.
Tin Cup Whiskey is the official whiskey of bass fishing. Did you know that?
Yes.
It is
I
now.
did know that.
It is now.
Hey, cool shirt.
Hey, thanks. Cool shirt too. You got it.
Hey, thanks.
Ryan Popcorn Whitaker right there. Hey, you know who else is a cool guy with a cool shirt?
That guy.
Yeah, and he's got a cool hat on. He's a punk rock producer. Look out, he's stage diving. Oh my gosh, put your shirt on, dude. It's Andrew Ellenberger.
Got 3 people on his shoulders.
I didn't know you were that strong. It's a Ginger Ninja. Right on the head. Like a dog's producer.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
It's Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. Andy, the cool green Irish hat you have on
Yep.
is Omnia Fishing.
Yep.
And Omnia Fishing has a hell of a, is hell of a one word?
Yes.
Hell of a.
UVA.
Hell of a special going on right now, Gingy.
Yes, it
And,
does.
and what in the world is going on there, Mr. Andrew?
Head on over to omniafishing.com.
Okay.
And right now, we're going to run from today all the way to midnight Thursday.
Oh, okay.
20% off on all worms.
All worms.
So go to soft plastic, go to worms, 20% off. Hit up the Berkeley Generals, though, for sure. Accent.
Hey, there's one.
Wink, wink, hint, hint. But use the code I got worms 20.
But here's the magic. Listen this. I got worms 20, and
Perfect.
you'll be flashing it across the screen. But
Yep.
here's the cool thing. any soft plastic.
Any soft plastic.
I don't
Oh.
care what it is. Of course, Larry Nixon's Yamamoto's. Yeah.
Certainly.
They also have vintage in limited supply 1978 Larry Nixon gator tail worms.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you better get on over there and get them. They smell weird. They smell real weird, but they have them now. OmniaFishing.com. What's the code again, Ginge?
I got worms 20.
I got worms 20. What do you got? OmniaFishing.com.
That's what we're
I
gonna call
got worms 20.
I will say
Hey,
that mask really softens your voice.
it
I
does.
like
It is. It's nice.
Sounds good.
It does. You're very subtle.
All right.
Yes. that wind song stays on my mind.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to say that this is a cool place to get free stuff every Wednesday night here at Stray Cast. And tonight we are happy to give away line and lure conditioner.
Yeah.
Also, wait, that's not it. About a stern boat cleaner. Wait, also that's not it. We have the Armor Shield.
Armor shield.
Armor Shield.
Yeah.
Here in the Chicago area, we call it Armor Shield.
Armor shield.
You got Armor Shield, we got the lines and the lures, and we got the about the sterns. And Jake, the intern, is working the Chattis board there, and all you got to do is like and share this live Facebook feed. Like and share the live Facebook feed. Jake's going to put it in a randomizer at the end of the show. He's going to pop on. You got a chance to win. I mean, it's this prize pack is well worth under $16 million.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, just under.
Yeah, just slightly under $16 million.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Hey, if you want to check out what is quickly becoming the most rad bassin sled in the galaxy, the MX-21, head on over to Crestliner.com and look at that yacht.
Bassin aircraft.
Yeah,
carrier.
it is. What in the world, Ryan Whitaker? Ryan,
it's awesome.
We're gonna get you in one of these days,
Well,
Ryan.
let's
you're
do
gonna
that.
be jumping. You're gonna be
I'm
jumping
in.
waves. Yeah.
I want to take naps in the
You
rod
and
locker.
you and Ginge are gonna be racing
Let's race.
with you
I
you
want
will
the whole shot.
Yeah,
Not just half.
It's gonna be like Tokyo Drift, but not in Tokyo. and in Crestliners.
Tokyo Chine Walk.
Yeah, Tokyo. Yeah, but in Crestliners, exactly. Crazy moves. All right. Hey, halfaspotofficial.com. It's a place to find what? Spots. That's right.
Spots.
Share spots. Sharing is caring. You know, a friend with the spot is a friend indeed. Isn't that how it goes or something like that? And if you share your fishing knowledge, it comes back tenfold. Seriously, 100%. Go to halfaspotofficial.com. Check out the online derbs. Also, check out the application on your smartphones and Androids. Download them. How we doing, Ginge? Good. Everything seems to be good and copacetic and everything else. I want to give a special shout out to a viewer of the show, Justin Baker. Justin, thank you so much for sending in the awesome Berkeley big game jacket. Matt Robertson snagged it. Yeah, Robertson. Got that.
What?
Yeah.
Big game jacket?
Big game jacket.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin Baker. And the cool belt buckle and the Producto worms. Amazing. Thank you so much, Justin Baker. Seriously. Dude, didn't have to do that. Awesome. Here we go. I want to tell you, every week we're going to talk to you about the importance of keeping your rod covered and being safe. This is a public service announcement every week. From Straycast, you will completely and utterly hear us seriously talk about keeping your rod covered every week, and that's with the Outcast Fishing Rod Slicks. The Slicks rod covers, and if you're not keeping it covered in the boat, you're not protecting the deal.
In the locker.
Yeah, in the locker.
Yeah.
So
Don't get a ding on
available
your
at omniafishing.com, and also they got a special going on the old stealth fighter jig, and this is the cage fighter right here with the flat eye. So check that. Boom, kaboom. Now,
Cagey.
Ginge, I think I got it all now, didn't I?
Yeah.
Are we hammered down in the hammer lane? Correct. Should we put the power poles down? Should we put the power poles down? Don't go anywhere. When we get back, it's the General, Larry Nixon. Yes.
That's two.
Yes. Yes.
People tell me I'm one track This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain Whiskey.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bass Fishing Galaxy, we're pretty excited right now to bring to you a familiar face to us all. The one and only, the legend, the General Larry Nixon. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Click that microphone icon in your
Hey,
bottom
Larry.
left. There, Larry.
Here comes Larry. He can hear us.
He's got the mute.
But we can't, but we can't hear him.
Now we're
Now
talking.
There you go.
Larry Nixon, the General. Now we gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Welcome, Larry.
Glad to be here, buddy.
Oh my goodness, man! I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is to have you among us tonight, and how special it is that you are reemerging now into the bass fishing scene again after a year off. And let me tell you, man, I think you've been working out. I think that it's evident the weight room is that way, Larry Nixon. Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, a year ago I couldn't have done that. My arm would have made me cry.
I mean, you're doing good, man. I know I've been talking to you, and you're in good spirits, and I think you're ready to go out and kick some butt, aren't you, man?
I'm going to go out there and have fun, Pat. How's that? That's all that counts nowadays is have fun, and I am going to catch fish.
Yeah, man. I mean, because I want to get real about this. One of the reasons that I had you and invited you on the show this evening was to, in hopes of educating younger anglers that might not know about the legend Larry Nixon. Of course, they know of Larry Nixon, but not a lot of the deets, as Jay Kumar, the Bass Blaster, puts it, the deets, So we kind of want to educate here and kind of do a little synopsis of your career, if that's okay with you, Larry.
That sounds wonderful.
And one thing I wanna point out here, and and I'm going back like 1978. All right, up until 2019, when after the season, you took last year off, of course, for the shoulder, as you stated. But man, you don't really have bad years. You really don't. Like I saw maybe like 38th in the standings. Larry, that's very consistent. Let's think about this. Have you ever looked at it that way, like about yourself?
Well, yes, I have.
Okay.
I picked back 29 years and I made 25 classics. I've made 17 FLW Cups, and I don't think anybody's ever did that. I know there's been people make more classics than I have, but all together, it's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, man, and and just like your worst finish in overall points, 38th, and I think that was I was looking as 2008 or something. And come on, dude. You're spanking the youngins. You're like, out of my way, greenhorn. Let the man go through. and that's why we're so excited to have you back on the trail this year on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, man. And I think some good things are coming about for you. But let's back up a minute. So a lot of anglers don't know that there was a time in professional bass fishing when every tournament was not $100,000. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Nixon?
Oh yeah, I know very well.
And let's go back. I did a little R&D, as we like to call it in the Bass and Talk Show biz, and I saw in 1978 you won a Bass Champs Derb. Okay, do you remember that Derb?
Yes, I do.
All right, you won $6,000.
That's right.
All right, $6,000. All right, and that was kind of the start of it all, And then from there it kind of escalated, because as bass fishing grew as a sport, you dominated, or not dominated. Let's say you capitalized on the growth. So what I noticed, that pretty much any $100,000 derb that came up, you just decided to go ahead and win. So
Right.
You're like, I'm going to cherry pick the 100K wins. I ain't never seen nothing like it in bass history, man.
Yeah, that was pretty special right there. That one little section there, 4 megabucks, and I think the Bass Team Championship. And if it had money wrote on it, I won it.
Yeah, man. Was that some sort of mindset, or was it just something that happened?
Well, the Megabucks tournament played right down my style. I always could look at a piece of water and just look over there and say, okay, a bass lives there. And that's the way I won nearly every one of them mega bass tournaments. Was instead of wasting all that time fishing everywhere, I picked out where I knew one lived, and I stayed there until I caught him. You only had to catch one per hole.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You'd wind up winning that tournament. And it was right down my alley.
Yeah, and then it was just a string of events up until your last BASS victory was, one of the first $100,000 one, or 99 on Claire. And then it all seemed to be $100,000 after that, is what I'm getting.
That's when they grew up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, both leagues. Yeah. and was that the shift? Like, did you go full time? I'm going off of my Rain Man memory here, but was it 2000 when you went to FLW full time?
I think it was 2002 when they started putting tournaments on top of each other, and you could only fish one circuit. Gotcha. And at that point in time, I had all my sponsors kind of on the FLW side, and me and ESPN didn't jive too good, and several of us old guys we wasn't their stars no more, so we just went to FLW.
All right, and you did damn good over there too.
It worked out.
worked out quite well for you, may I say?
Yeah, FLW was good for the sport. I mean, competition is good for everything, and at that time, you just had bass and FLW, and so if you could fish both of them, it was wonderful, but they didn't see it that way. So they put tournaments on top of each other, and we had to make a decision.
It was a magic time in bass fishing for us fans too. Those, and there are many watching that don't know about it, but that like 99, 2000, 2001 era, you saw a lot of two-tour anglers. Yourself, Rick Clunn, Davey Height, Klein, Yellis. Man, there was a lot there. Say it again.
Gentleman George.
Of course, yeah. Gentleman George. Yes, of course. Your running buddy. Is that your bestie? Would you consider him your bestie?
I would consider him. We've spent a lot of time together, buddy. I mean, we duck hunt, we fish, we squirrel hunt, we deer hunt. We do it all together, and yeah, he's my best bud.
That's awesome, man. And I shared with you on the phone the other day how cool it was to sit down with the both of you guys at the cup that time, and Ryan Popcorn was there, Andy awesome. Of course, man, and we'll get into it a little later, but you guys are troublemakers. I know that. I know that about you.
We've been known to do that, yeah.
You've been known to do a little juke joint jumping. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's talk a little bit about you, the angler, Larry Nixon. So I think that a lot of times when an angler becomes synonymous with something, it equates success. Do you know what I mean? For like, it could be a certain thing. Like, for example, when you think of Clunn, he's synonymous with plugs, right? You think of Clunn as a plugger.
That's correct.
Okay. You think of Tommy Biffle, you think of the tight shorts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You think of Dance, you think of the T-hat, right? You think of Houston, you think of spinnerbait. You think of Larry Nixon, you think of a Texas rig plastic worm. Like that. That's right. That's the deal. And what I would like to stress here is that pretty much every technique that we use today in bass fishing as far as Texas rigging plastics is, for lack of a better term, a derivative of techniques that Larry Nixon perfected. There were anglers before him. You get Dance in 68 starting the worm deal, and then progressing to you, Larry Nixon, in 78 and perfecting that. But a lot of anglers don't realize you're the guy. You are the T-rig man. You're the Texas rig guy. That's you.
Well, I kind of got stuck with that name, but over the years, I've done a lot of different things, and that's one of the things I brought in here. The first BASS Invitational that I won was actually one with a mud bug.
I know, yes. Yeah, you have that?
This old bug here, and it was the 7th month of 78 on Millwood Lake, and that's right after that little Bass Champs tournament that I won. Yeah. And I've still got that mud bug, and I've got it autographed here, got the date on it. I saved some of these things because you can't save a plastic worm.
No, it's there.
It's kind of tore up. Yeah. Some of these little toys, let's see, this is a Megabucks winner in October of 1990 on Lake Gunnersville. That's the old 6A bomber.
Yes.
I actually won that tournament on.
Yes.
And it's a hard bait. It ain't a plastic worm.
No, I know. You led me right where thank you. Thank you so much. You did this. Thank you.
You got to be versatile to be good.
Yes.
And there was a lot of lures that I used. And I brought one other one here because it's kind of cool. And, people really don't never get to see this stuff because I got it hid in my shop. This is an old Zara Spook that I actually won the BASS 25th anniversary the 6th month of 92.
92. I remember when you won that.
92.
Yeah.
I got
I
the
caught
belt
the
buckle.
majority of my big fish in that event on that lure right there.
Oh my gosh. That's
So you're getting a special treat tonight. Not many people get to look at this.
Can you hold that a little closer to the
get
camera,
get
please?
that right up to the camera there.
Oh man. A little higher, please, Larry. Look at that. Wow. That's amazing.
And right after the tournament was over, I went home and I signed it, dated it, and put it in a tackle box, and it's never been brought out again till tonight.
Wow.
And that's a fact.
You hear that, Bass Galaxy?
I look at them.
That's awesome.
Wow, it's like toys that Larry Nixon plays with.
And I cannot tell you how much money that I've won on this lure right here.
That spot.
That's an old 3/4 ounce rattle trap.
Oh, trap. Okay, I see here. Yeah.
Loud one. But back when I was a younger man, this was one of my money makers, son. I wound this thing like I can't tell you how many million miles I've wound a silver blueback trap or a bright red crawfish one.
Wow. That is
I don't
awesome.
I dated this in 05. I don't think it's the year I won Toledo Bend, but I'm pretty sure that it accounted for many of the fish that I caught in that tournament, or I would not have dated it and saved it. But I took the hooks off it and saved it. But that's just 4 lures that they were my workhorses back in them days, besides the plastics, of course.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I learned guiding, is that you could catch fish anytime on a Texas rig or jig head worm. But when they were really eating, you needed to throw the big stuff.
That's right.
And so I'm not just a worm guy.
I know, and thank you so much, because that's where I was going. I was like, everyone knows Larry Nixon as the Texas rig guy, but man, you're a plugger. You're a plugger too.
I was a big time plugger before I went to having all these ailments,
Yeah.
The old hand quit, and that's when I really got I said, I just throw a worm in a jig.
He still did all right, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's outstanding. But I mean, like the rattle trap, man, the 3/4 trap, and that spook that you were using the spook too on St. Clair as well, right?
That's correct. You can't even hardly find that color right there anymore. That was the old pale chartreuse. And it worked really good in muddy water and clear water. And it's just, you can't even find that in the store no more, to my knowledge.
Wow.
Pale shirt.
Yeah.
That's
that down.
That was the bomber?
That was the Bomber 6A.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Good. It's hard for me to see. If you notice, I have to squint on the monitor. But man, that's the that's the bait. Like, that's the bait.
That was the crankbait back then.
Wow. That's pretty insane.
I mean, when I tied on a crankbait in 1990, it was a 6A bomber or a 7A bomber.
You say nobody makes a pale chartreuse?
I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, not like that one.
we got to change that.
It's not shiny. It's kind of opaque, I would call it, and it's got an orange belly, of course, which is just really a brim color.
Yeah.
But that was the chartreuse back in the 90s and late 80s in that area right there.
Oh, I remember the bait, and I remember seeing it in Bassmaster. Believe me. Yeah. Believe me. That's amazing. But you have to, I mean, like, maybe you don't have them with you right now, but I mean, there's got to be a time you have to have some of those old plastics maybe in bags somewhere, don't you? Like some old gator tails or something?
I still got 3 or 4 bags of old gator tails, yes, and they're packed away in my boat because I'm heading to Florida here pretty soon, and I might accidentally put one on.
Look at you. Look at you.
Whoops.
Yeah, just a couple weeks, like 3 weeks you're going to Florida.
That's right. I may pull one out and throw it.
Okay.
Nowadays, I do just as well throwing a bait that, if you'll notice, I don't know whether you can see that or not, but this, that is a June bug swimming Cinco.
Yeah, you got a couple of those there, I see.
Well, this other one is a regular Cinco.
You got a big old satchel of them there.
Little fun pack.
Yeah, well,
There's kind of a funny little story about that, and that's why I brought these.
tell us.
A few years back, Junebug went from Junebug to too light. It was more like a blue with green flake, and I kept raising cane. You know, that's the way I am. I always spoke my piece, and I said, "Where did my Junebug Cinco go?" And I kept asking that question, and finally, after about 2 years, somebody listened to me, and they went back and they produced the right color in a bulk bag just for me.
Wow.
Now, I haven't seen them in the store yet, so I can't evaluate them
What's your
against
address?
what you can buy. But you know, this made me feel really good that they went back and they pulled that old color out of. They keep a log.
Yeah.
He said, I know exactly when that happened because it was the plastics at that certain year time that when they added the dye, they could never get it dark.
Wow. You just
So they've changed all that now. But boys, at Okeechobee, I got the right thing.
look
here.
at the
And,
confidence right there. Look at the confidence he's got. I love it. I love it. What's the deal with that swimming Senko? Like, I mean, are you like, what's your deal with that? What's the general rig with that deal? How you rigging it
Well,
up?
one of the last tournaments at Okeechobee, I used a 4-inch swimming Seiko on the back of a chatterbait.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I got to where, you know, a swimming jig is so popular. I said, well, what about just winding a worm? And that's where the swimming Cinco is so good. You put it on a real light weight and you can just kind of reel it along steady. And it kind of swims like a minnow, but yet it looks like a worm.
Yeah.
And this year, me and George, of course, we went down to a little private lake down in South Arkansas, and probably I know at least one of the biggest fish I've caught in my life I caught that day, and another one that George said was over 10, and I caught both of them on that swimming Cinco.
Wow. Huh. How you rigging it up?
Yeah.
You said lightweight. Like, what's the hook in the weight?
Down there I was using a 1/8 ounce slip sinker and a 3/0 hybrid worm, that Gamakatsu hybrid worm hook.
Okay.
I
So
was casting it out to brush piles, and I just let it go down, and I just slowly reel it through that brush pile. And when it come over a limb, you know, it's just like working a Texas rig. Just donk.
sure. Do you peg it? Do you peg that sinker on that
Yeah.
swim Senko? Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, I peg it. But
Larry-
it's a great bait. It's very versatile. You can use it on a spoon, or you can use it on a chatterbait. You can even use it for a spinnerbait trailer. So it's just a lure that I go to a lot.
Larry, how often do you throw the color Junebug outside of the state of Florida?
All over Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
All over Texas, anywhere along the East Coast where you got that tidal brackish water. If you've got that slightly off-colored water, Junebug is a really good color.
Okay.
In
so
the
that's what-
Carolinas, it works really well.
Okay. So it's the watercolor more than anything
Yes,
else.
definitely. You know, back in the old days, it was purple.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wanted a purple worm.
Yeah, right?
And then they went to blue grape, which was a dark grape color. And then they started adding green flake to it, and that's where the name Junebug came from.
Aha. Okay. It was
Yeah.
it was like the old man's black grape or blue grape or whatever.
You got it.
Oh, there it is. That's the origin of Junebug.
That tournament I won on the that Bass Champs tournament where I only won $6,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was throwing a black grape man's jelly worm around them cypress trees.
Nice. Nice. Hey, tell me about Tom Mann. I mean, do you have any cool stories about Tom Mann? That's somebody that as a kid I really admired. And of course his famous bass Leroy Brown. But you got any cool Tom Mann stories?
Well, probably one of the coolest ones was when I was really just a rookie and hadn't been fishing BASS very long. I'd got acquainted with Tommy Martin and Bill Dance, and we went to Eufaula, and I think it was like oh, I don't remember, my second year or third year fishing BASS, and Tom had a big cookout up there at his gallery, and I got invited, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I get to go eat with big dogs, and he had shrimp and oysters and all this stuff, and Tom was a great individual. I knew him pretty well, and him and Bill Dance used to play tricks on each other all the time. And one tournament, I believe it was Bill Dance going through the takeoff line. And, you have to raise your live well lid and all this stuff. And Tom and Bill, they'd always do something. Well, Tom put 5 rubber ducks or 5 rubber bass in his live well. So he was going out with fish in the live well. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Well, Bill Dance came back and put a live duck in Tom Mann's live well. Open the live well, there's a duck in there. So,
No way.
oh yeah,
A live duck.
They were crazy.
Oh my goodness.
They put snakes in there. They did it all.
So out of all that group, back in the day, yourself included, Tommy Martin, Roland Martin, Bill Dance, yourself, Larry Nixon, Jimmy Houston, who was the biggest troublemaker out of all of you?
It's probably Dance.
Was it Dance?
Dance was pretty good troublemaker. I mean, he'd find a way to pick on you. I drew him twice, and he's a nightmare in the boat. I mean, all day long, he'd ask me how deep it was. Now, finally, about 11 o'clock, it hit me. And I said, he's just distracting me from fishing. I said, Bill, there's the depth finder. You can see. Quit asking me that. And he just laughed.
He's like Bugs Bunny of bass fishing.
Oh, he was. He was a prankster now.
So who would you say out of that same group of you guys was and include yourself if you may, the most charismatic out of the bunch?
Ooh, that's a tough one there. I want to say Roger Moore for some reason. I knew.
Oh,
Roger
James Bond. Yes, James Bond, of course, is very charismatic.
He was a mess. Tommy Martin was always the best dressed. I mean, now he was serious about how he looked every day, every night, no matter where you went. He dressed up.
Okay, gotcha.
Everybody had their own little deal. Jimmy Houston was a funny man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Tommy Martin is to this day, he is built like Bruce Lee. It's like you could throw a cinder block off of that guy, Tommy Martin.
He's going 90 miles an hour right now, fishing and deer hunting and doing something. He's 80 years old, and he's got amazing stamina and really good health.
That's your bag carrier. If you get a 25, 30-pound bag, Larry,
he would carry it.
You have Tommy Martin carry it up for you.
Someone told us he liked to squat in front of people too, right?
He liked what?
He liked to squat in front of people too.
Yeah.
He liked to relieve himself in front of big groups of boats.
Oh my, you remember that story?
That was you. That was you that told us.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. That was one of the funniest I've ever seen in fishing.
Not a shy guy.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
I mean, it was an emergency, and he had to go, and he didn't care.
And hey, that's right. And that's why he's Tommy Martin and they weren't.
That's right. He could do as he pleased.
But man, I want to tell you, dude, you're talking about good, well-dressed back in the day, those Skeeter bell bottoms and man, I'm telling you.
Rhinestones.
Yeah, rhinestones. You were quite the fashion plate yourself, man. You're quite a cowboy, buddy.
Well, I remember some funny outfits. When I go back and look at them now, yeah, I agree.
I mean,
them short shorts them were really short shorts.
Yeah. That's why they call them Wranglers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, but for real, man, there was a time in bass fishing rock stars, and you were one of them, man. You were one of the dudes. Ricky Green was another one. Remember Rick?
Yep, sir.
Man, I mean, Back in the day, you guys were the guys. That was
We tried to look good. That was one thing Ray Scott emphasized. Boys, he said, if you want to sell yourself, look good every time you come in to weigh in. When you go out at night, he said, look good. People are going to recognize you. So we did what we had to do.
yeah.
Now I got to stop you there. When he told you guys to look good, who decided it was a good idea to wear white pants for 8 hours in a fishing tournament?
Hey, that's fair. It don't matter. That's pretty cool.
I know, awesome. I love the white pants, but how the hell do you keep those things clean all day?
2 pairs.
2 pairs of white pants.
That's the way we felt was who cares, because they were cool.
Exactly.
I don't care how hot it was.
I love it.
Was cool.
And those big white belts, dude, and out there bassing in that, man. I mean, with those collars. I mean, I think that the tackle warehouse circuit, as well as BASS, needs to bring some of that back.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on, Larry, and the jumpsuits, the whole deal. Come on.
Yeah, I'm kind of re-outfitting myself right now. You know, I've had a lot of changes this past year, and I told Amy the other day, I said, you know what? First time I go to a cold tournament, I'm gonna be in trouble because I don't have any good warm clothing no more. I had to retire some of my best stuff.
Well, I think you need to get yourself a whole new wardrobe and put patches on it. No more jerseys, all Larry Nixon in patches.
Get yourself a
Get
vest.
me another vest.
Yes, a vest, a coverall vest. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, there.
Yes.
I would love it if they went back to that, because then you can wear whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah.
And just throw your vest on.
You just wear a flanny and put the dang vest over it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Why not? Why not? Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about the evolution of your tackle. And I'm fascinated by this. We had Clun on, as I said a little while ago, and we went in depth with like his crankbait tackle has evolved over the years. And obviously we've all seen the hook set, from the Mega Bass and our Mega Bucks in '88 with the beginning of Bassmaster and the pistol grip rod, But think about it, man. Like from '78, let's take your career in bass, just for instance, in the beginnings, from '78 to like '99, and I, as a fan, have watched you, and you've had a specific progression of tackle. Can you talk to us a little bit about that progression of casting tackle throughout the years?
Well, probably the biggest thing is going from longer to longer rods, getting away from the 5'6" and the 6 foot and moving on up to 6'6" and 7 foot. That changes your hook set a lot, because you lose a lot of your snap, but yet you still, in other words, just instead of having to jerk sideways and run to the back of the boat and jerk again, now you can just get it all done in one lick, which you just got a longer rod, so it makes you be able to set that hook better. And the rods nowadays are so much more sensitive. I mean, you can feel fish much faster than you could with them old short rods. And the line change has been so huge, going from monofilament to fluorocarbon and fluorocarbon to braid. And, you have to learn when to use which. And to me, nowadays, that's very important, because people that are getting away from monofilament, they're going to realize that monofilament does a way better job for certain things. And so I still use basically 2. I only use monofilament and fluorocarbon and braid when I go to Florida.
Okay, well, tell me about you were pretty specific there. People are missing out if they're not using mono. What should they be using mono for?
Well, mono casts so much better. You get away from having all them little loose line spools, and you can throw the bait further without backlashing. I like it because it floats. With top waters, you have to go back to monofilament to get a top water to fish right. If you use braid, then you have to tie a leader on there with a mono leader extension. And so I just go back to mono.
Okay.
Fish is better for me. Now, it's not as sensitive, and it's not, it don't have it don't have the stretch that monofilament does. So if you're worm fishing, you're better off using fluorocarbon, because it sinks. And so I try to figure out which line's best for me with some conditions. And I don't know. I find myself going back to mono all the time.
I gotcha. Okay, and then so when you're winding a plug or throwing a spinner bait or a chatterbait, is it on monofilament the majority of the time?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your rod that compensates for that? Are you using graphite or are you using a composite? What are you using?
I use graphite, and I go up a notch on my strength of my rod.
Okay.
Because with mono, you have that more stretch. But what happens here now is with monofilament, it gives the bait to the fish.
Yes.
When you want to switch from monofilament to fluorocarbon, it's when you need to take that stretch and get it out of your, if you're fishing a little bit deeper, monofilament stretches a lot. You can't get the hook in a fish, and that's why you use fluorocarbon.
Gotcha.
But on them fish that you're losing, let's say if you're so fast, I got a bite. You set the hook. Well, you're taking that bait away from the fish a lot of times. And with monofilament, it gives the bait to the fish.
I gotcha. And heavier action rod with the mono compensates for that as well.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Was there a period in your tackle selection where you were a glass rod guy? Were you throwing composites or glass in your Daiwa days at all?
Yes, I was.
Okay, gotcha.
The reason why I went back to fiberglass or graphite on a lot of rods is because of my hand strength.
Okay.
As I got older, them heavier rods after a day, the fatigue would just wear me out. Okay. And so I just learned to go to graphite, go to a little more parabolic rod, and I could do basically the same thing as I could do with glass. It's just that you don't have that strength at the end of the hook set. Glass will bend so much, and then it just kind of quits. Mm-hmm. And when you're fighting a fish, glass has a little bit more flex, where you can't keep. But that fisherman's one keeps that line tight. To me,
I got you. Yeah, exactly. And man, that pistol grip era for you. What were those? So, when did you get in with Daiwa? Because you were using a Daiwa in '88 there at the Megabucks, right?
I'm pretty sure it was '83 when I went with Daiwa. They were looking for some fishermen to help them design rods and reels and get their tackle in order for the tournament world. And they hired me and Denny Brower, Rick Clun, George Cochran.
Yellis was in there too.
Larry Bird
was in there. Guido,
yeah. You guys were like it was like a rock star team, honestly.
Boy, and we worked hard. Let me tell you something. They were real serious, and they flew us out to California, and we did a lot of R&D work on all of them rods.
Yeah, man, those green Daiwa rods, people cherish those to this day. That Larry Nixon worm rod. Oh gosh, I remember that thing.
I still got a couple.
Do you? You still?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Davey Height too. He had the green rod
that's right.
The spinnerbait rod in there, and of course Clun's cranking stick in there. Denny's jig rod. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
We probably had the most awesome rods back in that time frame of anybody in the business.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was a cool era.
Guido in there too.
Yeah, Guido with the spinning rod. That was an important part of the Team Daiwa green sticks. I remember, dude. Yeah, I stared at those Bassmaster articles and ads.
The ads were
awesome.
The
ads before before there was computers. Yeah. Larry, we just looked at the ads forever and ever.
Hang them on the wall.
I looked at Larry Nixon in the rebel hat with the
Oh, you guys, you kill me with some of that stuff you pull today.
Holding up crawdads. Oh my goodness. Hey, let's kick back a little bit. You want to kick back a little bit and let's go eat some fresh fish. You want to go to a little craw boil? Let's kick back and go to a craw boil and get to know Larry Nixon. How's that sound? All right, you got
good.
Yeah. got some of that juke joint jumping going on over there. Where you at right now? Aren't you at the hunting compound?
Yeah, I'm down here with my palace buddies. We get together every Wednesday night and have a big time, lie to each other and all that stuff. And right now I'm sitting in a Ranger boat that I sold one of my friends 5 years ago.
Oh, is that right?
I'm sitting right here in the old driver's chair.
It seems kind of like an old friend. Hey, Larry, did you ever feel like you had no choice but bassing? Like, that's it, man. That's it. That's all I can do. That's all I got. Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, I felt that way. I went to college a couple of years, and I didn't like that. And Daddy had a nice Ranger boat back in them days. That was way back there, 1972 maybe.
Okay.
We had like the 30th boat for us produced.
Wow.
And I said, Dad, it was January, and I said, all my friends moved to Toledo Bend. And I said, if I could borrow your boat for about 3 months, I can go to Toledo Bend and I can guide every day. And I'll bring your boat back before the fish start biting in April. And he looked at me like I was about half crazy, and he said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. He said, I can handle that. You'll be home by April. And I hooked onto that thing, and away I went. And in April, I sent him the money to go buy him a new Ranger boat with a new 65 motor on it.
Yes, sir.
And I never left. I stayed there. And then I ran into Tommy Martin, of course, and he said, you ain't never going to make no money guiding, Larry. You catch too many fish. You need to fish these bass tournaments. That's when I knew I knew where I was going.
Oh my goodness, you're calling. You're
That is
calling.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you're just like, yeah, then I'm just gonna go and win $100,000 derbs and nothing else. Nothing else, man. Hey, if you had $10 for every time somebody asked you about that opening clip of Bassmaster, how rich would you be?
Ooh, I'd be wealthy. I'm really wealthy.
Give me a number. Give me a number.
Probably a couple mil. You got to remember now that I've traveled all over the world doing seminars and stuff since they run that and since I won that tournament. So
Yeah.
everybody I run into, oh man, I'll never forget you catching that bass out of them lily pads.
Oh my gosh. You ever go into a Cracker Barrel and they're like, hey, aren't you that guy from the beginning of the Bassmasters?
Back 20 years ago, yeah.
So
Yeah.
my only question for that opening scene of Bassmaster, that 88 megabucks win, the famous scene that us as bass fishing fans cherish. My only question for you is like, how much did that hook set hurt your wrists? Because it looked like it hurt. It did. It looked like that big.
I'll be plain honest with you. I never felt a thing. All I could see was dollar bills.
Yes.
Green bass, green
When
money.
the fish jumped out of the water, I said, oh, there's $100,000.
Oh gosh, man. Unbelievable. What a moment. What a moment. And that was a June bug worm, right?
That was a June bug worm with a chartreuse tail.
Okay, gotcha. Ribbon tailer?
That was a ribbon tailer. Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. I got to stand up. My leg's cramping. I don't know why that did. I got all excited there about that.
Too much Red Bull.
Yeah, no, that wasn't enough. Hey, so I got to ask you this, man. Like, what is a day in the life of you, Larry Nixon? Like, like an off-season day. Tell us about a typical day for you.
Well, an off-season day to me is either taking care of honeydews or chores around the house or getting on the tractor and bush hogging. I love to work on my place over there. I got to keep my shooting lanes clear so I can see what's crossing them. And the rest of the time, I'm either with George squirrel hunting, deer hunting, duck hunting, or something.
Gotcha. Do you love hunting more than bass fishing?
No.
No? Okay.
It just gets me primed up for the springtime.
Okay. Gotcha.
You clear your mind And when I go to fishing, buddy, I put the guns up, clean them, put them in the safe. I don't want to see them again till September. And, then I go to work on my fishing stuff.
Gotcha. And then you're full in. You're full. So you're hunting mode, and then boom, full fishing focus.
Full fishing focus. That's just another form of hunting.
Well, true. True. Yes, sir. Touche, Mr. Nixon. That is true. But here's what I find remarkable. That you're able to just shut it off, because you must admit that those are two equal passions.
Oh, most definitely. And it's so funny. In August, all I can think about is hunting. So soon as that big tournament's over in August, I'm ready to go hunting something.
Okay, I gotcha. And then when does the fishing bug? Because you're still hanging out with the hunting boys now. When's that fishing bug? You're leaving in 3 weeks, son. When's it happen?
I came home yesterday. It's over. It's all fishing from here on.
All fishing. From the general means business. From here on out.
That's right.
You like fried fish?
Love it.
What's your favorite kind?
Walleye.
Walleye. Okay. I like your answer.
Number 2.
Say it again.
Crappie, number 2.
Crappie, the old sockeye. I gotcha. Crappie is a delicious white flaky fish. I love it.
That's right.
I love walleye and lake perch as well. What's your favorite side with a good old fish fry?
Oh, probably good old baked beans.
Baked beans. Okay.
Hush puppies and French fries.
And hush. Did you say hush puppies?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, I love me some hush puppies. Like, I'll eat hush puppies till my belly hurts. Yeah. I'll do it and then just lay on the couch. I'll eat like 20 of them Long John Silver hush puppies, even if.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so painful, but they taste so good, Larry. It tastes so good.
We got a guy sitting in here can make the best hush puppies you ever eat, and they got jalapenos in them and all that good stuff, and they're little light, flaky ones.
Whoa.
Woo!
I love me some hush puppies. Welcome to Hush Puppy Talk with the General Larry Nixon on Stray Cats. I'm Pat Renwick, your host. Hey, what's your favorite fish catch of all time for you? Besides that, I mean, the 88 maybe, but what's the deal? What's the one in your brain?
The one in my brain that sticks out the most is the 1010 I caught qualifying for megabucks.
10-4.
And the reason why it does is I'd had Jay Yellis with me.
Oh.
And he wasn't on any fish, so we went and fished this little area where I'd been catching a whole lot of little bass, and I went around this little pad patch. I went all the way around it, pitching in the edge of it, and we never got a bite. And Jay says, well, what are you going to do now? And I said, well, I know there's fish in here, so I'm going to just turn around and fish around it the opposite direction. And I catch 2 in a row, and then I catch a 10-10. I only had 14-pound test line, and it's monofilament, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And this 10-10's running through these lily pads, and that line is cutting the tops out of them pads. It just sounded like somebody had a rubber band out there and is just going ding, 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 ding. Cut the tops off of all of them. And then Jay lit my big old giant fish, and he's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh my God.
Yes. And you remember that. It's so vivid. Like it's burned in your brain, isn't it?
I can remember every bit of it.
Yeah.
That was an amazing day.
It's nuts how we as fishermen have such vivid memories. Like I can't count how many fish that I've caught in my life. I can't. And I don't think you really can put a number on it either. But it's like you can kind of remember each fish catch. Does that make, you know what I mean? It's weird. It's like, I don't know how many I've caught, but I remember every one.
I can't remember every one, believe me. I can remember the good ones.
So what's a haunting one? What is a haunting fish loss or moment or even a catch?
Oh, man. I can remember a whole lot of them I lost, and if I'd have caught, I'd have been a whole different tournament. And but none of them stick out in your mind like that one. The megabucks catch that they had on Bassmaster, and the 10-10 I caught with Jay Ellis, and Just one great big old fish had just changed the whole tournament, and they stuck out the most.
Yeah, man, and it stuck in all our minds a little bit too.
How big was that fish?
Yeah, well, it was 8 something, wasn't it?
In the megabucks, I think he was 7'10".
Oh, 7'10". Okay, yeah. Well,
He looked like 10 when he jumped.
I'd call it an 8.
7'10's a big one.
You know, us fishermen, we compensate. I'd call that an 8.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, you always hear from successful anglers, from winners, tournament champions, that a lot of times you have premonitions or creative visualizations or funny feelings. Do you get that? Did you ever get that about your wins, Larry?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had it happen distinctly.
Tell me, man. I want to know.
The FLW one on St. Clair, the last one I guess I won up there on St. Clair with FLW, we were putting in down at the far end of the river, and we were running up the river headed towards St. Clair, and that's 30 miles. And we had to go past the big tower up on the bank there, the big Chevrolet tower, and Chevrolet was sponsoring that tournament. And we were running up through there. My cameraman, he was filming that camera, and he turned around, he put that camera right on me, and he says, "What's it going to be?" And I said, "Let's go win a bass tournament."
Yes.
And I won.
Oh my gosh. That's like dude, that's like a Babe Ruth moment. That's like, you know what I mean?
Let's go win a bass tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, that was I've had that happen several times out there, on the last day of competition when you're fishing, and you just feel like I'm going to catch the fish to win today, and it happens.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you had the AOY seasons. Did you have feelings that whole season? Like, did you feel you were performing like an athlete at his prime, maybe in those couple seasons when you won the AOYs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you always, when you're on a roll and you're having a real good tournament year, and it gets past that third or fourth tournament, and you think, wow, I got a really good chance to win this thing if I just keep catching fish. And it happens. Sometimes it don't, but it happens that way. You feel it, you do it.
So is the feeling, is it simply described as confidence, Larry, or is it more, because there's a such thing as false confidence too in fishing, if you catch my drift. So like, is that the feeling? Is confidence the feeling, or is it just security?
Oh, it's just confidence in yourself and the way you feel about the outdoors, and maybe the times a year that you're going to certain bodies of water, but it's definitely confidence.
Gotcha. And you feel in tune. It's kind of like, and you definitely,
you're just totally in tune.
Gotcha. And it seems that all you legends and Ryan or Andy agree or disagree with me, like when you guys are at your peak, whether it was you, Larry Nixon and you in back in them 2 seasons there, or the Mega Bucks times, or even look at it, Aaron Martin's at certain times of the sport, just of course, Clun in the zone, man, just zones, like Jordan stuff,
Yeah.
Add Kevin in there too.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin, thank you, Andy.
He did okay.
2000s, he was
Yeah, sorry.
He did all right.
zoned.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just like something they say sometimes that fishing isn't a sport, man, and you're fishing against the fish, but like, man, how were some guys so good at it and able to figure it out so much? That's what I don't get,
It's definitely a sport, and yes, you get in a zone, but it's confidence in yourself, the outdoors, knowing the outdoors, feeling when things are going to happen on the water. There's a lot of things. Rick Clum was probably the very best there ever was at getting zoned.
Yeah.
Now, buddy, when he got zoned, he was zoned.
Yeah.
I mean, they did nothing interfere with his thinking when he was you know, when he was in that zone that he was going to win a big tournament, he didn't say much. You could see it in his eyes. It was like a far away
I've noticed.
look.
Yeah, it was almost like he was on another planet at times.
Most definitely, occasionally.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever been and revisited a spot that you've won on and had another magic moment on it?
Just the Harris chain, really.
Yeah, well, you won again. That's a dumb
Yeah.
question. What a dumb question, host. But I mean, is
I
that?
love that place.
Yeah, apparently so. That did Amy well. Amy liked it too.
Amy loved the Harris chain. Yeah,
She liked all those mega
good
bucks.
term.
Oh gosh, I mean that's pretty cool. But like, you don't ever go back even fun fishing, you know, like to an old spot and maybe just wreck them on a spot you won, whether Chickamauga or.
Right now, I'm thinking about going to the Harris chain next week, sometime late next week, and fish 2 or 3, 4 days on my way down to Okeechobee, just for old time's sake. And
Yeah.
not only that, I need to go fish out of my new boat, and I need to go practice a little bit for me.
Oh, heck yes. Hey, send me a picture, would you, from over there? Jacking a big one on a pistol grip rod, if you can make that happen
Yeah.
for me.
I'd have to break one out of my archive.
Hey, why are you called the General? I don't know. Forgive me. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I'm going to give you a real short answer to that one.
Okay.
We were fishing a tournament on Wheeler Lake, and I actually won that tournament, but I can't remember what year it was. And the last day of the competition, we take off, and me and Mark Rose is fishing this one spot about 35 miles away. And he's in first or second, and I'm like 10th.
Okay.
And we're heading up the river, running and running and running. And I run about 15 miles, and I stop the boat, and my cameraman's got the camera going. He says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I can't win. I can't win up there." And I turned around and run all the way back to where we took off at. And I started practicing, and I caught 17 pounds and won that tournament. And when we come in, Charlie Evans, he already knew what I did because he had talked to the camera crews. And he said only a general would make that decision, and it stuck.
Wow.
Yep.
That's how that happened, the General.
That's exactly how that happened.
So
exactly.
Charlie Evans, the Ninja Turtle guy.
Yeah, the turtle guy. He said only a general would do that, and it stuck.
That's outstanding. I never knew.
That's great.
I never knew.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. It's like story hour. We got baits. We got show and tell with Mr. Nixon and stories. I love it, man. Hey, who was your favorite angler in 1978 and who's your favorite angler right now?
1978, I would say it was probably Tommy Martin.
Okay. Of course.
He was my favorite of all times. And right now, I would say probably John Cox.
John Cox. Yeah.
I keep up with John pretty good. I keep up with all the guys. Listen, I watched more fishing shows this year than any man on this earth.
I love
You
it.
know, when you're stuck in your living room with a broken wing and you're rehabbing, lifting weights, doing all this, well, what else does a fisherman do besides watch fishing
Watch
shows?
fishing and maybe cast a little bit in the living room, you know, get that flip
Right.
down. Let me tell you something. You're going to love this. So John Cox's dad, his name is Reddy Cox. He's Coach Cox for real. And he sent some those pictures that you saw of the baseball cards of you, Larry, on our social media. Those are from Reddy's personal collection, from John Cox's dad's collection. True story.
He dying.
Yeah, he's a big fan of yours, dude. He sure is, man. I'm gonna tell him all about that too. If he's not on here right now, he's on here a lot, but he'll be watching later. Man, that's pretty awesome, man. So, like, we've had a lot of we've been fortunate to have the best anglers in the world on this show. I'm just gonna say it. And when the Bass Galaxy found out that you were coming on the show, man, the messages, stories from people drawing you, the co-anglers that have been in the boat with you, and just messages coming in. It's so amazing. And this probably sounds weird, but how important you are to bass fishing. Does that ever sink into you? Like, you're very important, man.
Well, it's been a great career, and I've made the most of it. That's all I can say about that. And I've tried to make every person that's ever been in my boat feel important, whether they were a co-angler or a competitor or whatever. And I've never had a problem with a co-angler in all these years, and it's been fun.
You never drew honeycut, I guess.
No, I don't know.
Hey, how
I
would you
fished with Hank, and I fished with Rick, and I fished with Bill, and fished with Tommy, of course, and fished with a lot of really, really, really great fishermen over the years. Denny, and never got to fish with Tommy Biffle.
No. How about
But I've
Cat?
had some good times. Drew Kevin twice.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
were those called when you guys did that? Were those top 150s? No.
No,
Those
they
were
were,
invitational? Yes, yeah. You guys would share the boat half of the day.
Oh yeah, we had fussed with each other and bump butts and all that good stuff.
Man, I remember
Love
watching.
to see that come back.
Yeah, I thought it was
That
pretty
would
cool.
be awesome.
And I remember watching the derb on. It must have been on one of the Ozark lakes. And you remember a dude, Kurt Lytle?
Yeah, I remember the name.
Yeah, okay. And they were cranking bluff walls, okay, and paralleling bluff walls. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The frustration of that. Imagine you had your 6A ready to fire from the back, and you can't even get a cast in, Mr. Nixon. Hey, if you could describe yourself as an angler, you, Larry Nixon, describe yourself as an angler. How would you do that?
Boy, I'd hate to have to do that.
Well, come on, give me a stab. I know it's tough to describe and look at yourself, but
Well, I would say, probably I've been, like you said, I've been known as a worm fisherman, a worm dragger, a Cinco fisherman. But now I've always felt like that I was probably as versatile as anybody in this industry. Okay. And
yes. So you consider yourself a versatile angler. Uh-oh, we froze up a minute. Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Larry?
Period.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Was if you do not have a worm pattern or a jig pattern, you're not going to win a 3 or 4 day event. Your patterns won't hold up that long. That's why you have to be able to catch them on moving baits at certain times of the day. And then you pick up a worm or a jig later in the day and you finish out your catch. And so I've always felt like I was versatile.
And good. I like hearing that. I like hearing that you say that you describe yourself as a versatile angler. And I really, and one of the points I wanted to make was that you're a plugger too, man. As we said in the beginning of the show, you're not just a worm guy, man. But you also have a history of being good outside, you know. You have a history of catching them good off the bank. And
I love offshore.
Yeah, man. I mean, so you're not just you know what an FBR is in bassing? An FBR?
No.
That's a freaking bank runner. You know, that's what I am. That's what I am. And you're versatile. Like, you were catching them outside before guys were catching them outside. And you were doing things like lining up that point with that sycamore tree and that tower and casting your 5/8 lead worm weight with a 5.5-foot pistol grip rod to a ledge and calling your shots. And now we have an age that has progressed to the and you're with Lawrence, correct?
Lawrence, yes.
Yes, sir. You're with Lawrence, and you guys have the latest technology, I believe, with the live type views. Yep. For lack of a better term, do you still feel you're good at outside, or are too many people good outside now that you got to go do something else?
Well, I'm as good outside as I always was. The problem now is you've got out of a 150 boat field, you've got 140 guys that are very, very good at fishing outside because of these fancy electronics that we do have and the map systems on there and all that. So, now you got to be a little smarter. You got to have an inside game or a mid-range game as well as an outside game. The one thing I cannot stand in every one of them tournaments, if I have to sit back here and idle around and look at that depth finder for 8 hours a day to find fish, I'm not going to do any good. Because I can't, not going to do that. I'm a fisherman.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll look for them up to a certain point, but I'm going to stop and fish and be sure I can get a bite there.
Yeah. There is a point where you got to see if they're going to eat, or you can get them to eat.
This sonar age we got nowadays, they don't even stop and look at them. They can tell by looking at their screen if they're going to bite or not.
I've witnessed it, man. I've witnessed it. My buddy Matt on Kentucky Lake, he's a whiz at telling what them fish are going to do on them ledges. And
the good ones can tell you how big they are.
Yeah, I don't know if you know my buddy Robertson. We'll light over a bunch of fish on a ledge, and he'll be like, "Nah, we ain't even gonna throw at these. Those are 4-pounders, and ain't gonna eat." I'm like, "What? I'm from Chicago, man." I'm like, let's go. But no, I like to hear that. I like to hear that confidence in your voice again about. That you feel confident outside as well. But I like that you said that you need to have like a mid-range or even a shallow pattern. So here's my next question to you. What's the general's approach to something a little different? Finding, like, how will you use your electronics, or let's just say flat out fishing, to look for something in a mid-range or shallow game?
I usually do it by fishing.
Okay.
I'll fish obvious things that I can see, points of land, little points that show up on my mapping system. I'll just pull in there and fish 7 or 8 of them early in the morning, one here and one there, move on down the lake, and, trying to find a little shallower bite than what everybody else is looking for. And maybe throw a top water for the first hour or two to see if there is a top water bite. Hopefully get 2 or 3 in the live well and get going. But when you know that you're going to catch 20 pounds out there on them drops, you still got to spend the majority of your time looking at that unit. But I just can't do it.
So are you a visual scanner as well when it comes to the shallow game? So like, what I mean by that, is it like, are you a cruiser? Will you be going down the lake and you're constantly looking at banks and things that are different? And just fish on that, or is it always in conjunction with a mapping?
It's got to be in conjunction with mapping.
Okay.
Now, let's say if it's a springtime tournament, within a 3-month period of the spawn, then I'll run down the bank and look at different things like I used to do in the Megabucks tournaments. Because, a lot of times you may just pull in there and fish a little piece of bank and catch a fish. And then you say, oh, there might be something to this. And so you just ride around and you're not really looking at your map. You're looking at the lay of the land, more or less, and or log on the bank or grass patches or something that's visible. Sure. And so you have to do both. I mean, you just have to do both. Look at John Cox. Yeah. He don't even have a clue what idling around out in the middle of the lakes for. He ain't going to do that stuff. He is a bona fide fisherman.
Yeah, man.
And, that's what he's good at. And, that's what I'm best at, but yet still I have to rely on offshore, because in my mind, when I know the fish are out, and they're out usually from the first day of June for the rest of the year, they're out. So I'm sorry, bank fisherman, when I know that 90% of the fish are out.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So I try to fish my feel, my gut, where I think the fish are, no matter what time of year it is.
Okay, and apparently it's successful for you.
It's worked very well, so why change it?
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I found it interesting that that a lot of times you're still on that combination of what are you laughing at? Who are you looking at over there?
I was looking through this window here. One of them pilgrims in there looking at me.
Where's George Cochran at? Where's he at?
He's down at the cabin right now, still duck hunting.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's counting his little Mr. Monies. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Hey, what's the best? What's the best song ever? The best song ever to Larry Nixon.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
I've never been a music freak.
but what's your best song? You got to have a song that you just like, get your toes tapping.
Anything Toby Keith sings.
Okay, all right. I'll give you a little Toby Keith. I got you there. How
Just
about
all of
how about a movie? Yeah, how about a movie? How about a movie? What's the General's movie?
Oh, let's see. A bunch of them. Whoo-wee. I like The Green Mile. I like Josie Wales.
Oh yeah, the outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the most awesome ones.
Yes, sir. Speaking your language. Remember
Yeah.
White Lightning with Burt Reynolds, Gator McCluskey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad man
Yeah.
pajama right there. That's a good one. That's a good one. How about a TV show? What was your TV show back in the day?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Good lands. Gunsmoke, maybe?
Yeah. That's the General. That's Larry Nixon, man. Hey, if you got to pick it, and they're going to do the history of the General on the on the Discovery Channel, and who's the actor that's playing you in the recreation scenes? Who's that?
Oh, my. What was that question again? In the what now?
Yeah, like they're doing the history of the General, and then they got they of you, Larry Nixon, and then they got they always got that actor that's the stand-in. They'll show you like in the clip, like who's the actor playing the role of Larry Nixon?
Boy, you got me on that one.
Oh, who's your favorite actor? Pick a guy.
Eastwood.
Now we gotta have Eastwood. God dang right, you gotta have Eastwood in there playing the General. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, who was your first paying sponsor?
Let's see. Rebel.
Was it Rebel? Okay.
Rebel. Glastron might have been the very first one. Glastron boats.
Yes.
I finished second in the classic, that very first classic, and Rick Clunn got a sponsorship of Glastron, and he wanted me to be his running mate. So we ran Glastron boats for a while.
That's awesome. Yeah, my granddad had a Glastron. I remember that thing well.
Sure is.
Yeah. What was your favorite Rebel crank back in the day?
The Deep We Are.
The Deep We Are. Oh gosh, yeah. Remember that special kind of plastic it had? It had a special plastic.
Yeah, they had a special plastic.
No.
All right.
What's that? What do you got? What is it? Oh, it's a popper.
See that?
Yes, I do now. That's an old
Yeah.
Rebel popper. Yeah, bud.
That's an old sanded down Zell Rolling popper.
Yeah.
He gave me two of them many years ago, and I was so proud of them that I didn't even fish with them.
Oh my gosh. And they're custom Zell sanded.
Yep, custom Zell pan. They're so little, you darn near have to have a spinning rod to throw them. He sanded them so thin. And then he works on the lips. But that's two of them right there.
That's bass fishing history in each hand right
Don't catch
there.
a pike on that thing.
Yeah, wow.
Shad.
That's another Rebel lure that was awesome.
Oh my gosh. Hey, bass fishing is constantly changing and evolving, I mean, and there's good and bad. So I got to ask you, what's something that's kind of grinding your gears in professional bassing right now, whether it be with tournament angling, industry, people, anything? What's grinding Larry Nixon's gears?
Well, some of that I can't talk about.
Okay. Well, this is a talk show, mind you.
Keep it light.
Oh, let's see. I think it is the looking at the fish on the electronics is what's grinding my gears more than anything in the world.
Okay.
It's one of them things. It's one of them things you can't get off your mind because it's everybody's doing it, and everybody's winning tournaments doing it, and it's new to me. I mean, it's just new to me.
Okay.
I'm a rookie trying to start over. Well, basically what I'm doing, at 70 years old, that's extremely difficult to change everything and spend your time looking for fish on electronics. I've always done it looking straight down.
Sure.
Even with the old flash. I was probably as good as there was at looking at fish on an old flasher and say, oh, shoot, there they are.
I remember.
And stuff down there. But
there goes the Shorty Hopkins spoon.
yeah, now, they're looking this way, and they're doing it all day long. And a lot of times they don't even make a cast if they don't see a fish.
Yeah. We've seen
That
it.
grinds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. So it's like, is there a solution to this, or
Sounds
is it just a natural progression that? So in other words, it's not going to be every tournament that's going to be the winning deal. Like we saw St. Clair last year on the Elite Series, where if you didn't have that, you were pretty much SOL. Okay.
That's right.
Except John Cox, of course, he's an anomaly. But
Yeah.
But
In that championship, he just went back to doing what John Cox does. He hunted a place where he did not have to do that.
Yeah.
And he just is current.
Exactly. But so again, it's only going to play a role part of the time. But the time when it does play a role, it's a major role, and you better be on top of the game, ain't it?
It's a major role.
Yeah.
And you better know how to do it. And, you say that, and look at Zaleski. I think I said that right, isn't it? That won the MLF championship up there at Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his.
Zaleski.
Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't have it.
Nope.
He didn't have live spot at all. He just fished.
Right. Yeah.
And
Get a
he
live
still won that big tournament. But I'll tell you one thing. The wind took that tournament away from all the guys that were using the sight fishing, because if you can't keep your trolling motor in the water, you can't look for fish.
Yeah.
Dunsby.
I was on the water that day, Larry, up there, and yeah, it was terrible.
Is that right?
I don't know how there were.
It was awful.
Even in the channel, it was bad. There was 3-4 footers in the channel where Cox was fishing.
I've heard that made him take advantage of his strength, which was drifting, saving his batteries, and fishing.
Yeah.
And it worked out well for him.
Heck yeah, it did. So have you been practicing? Do you practice with this live scan scope deal?
Not that much.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not that much.
We better get in them pads over in Florida. See if you see any gar swimming through there.
Are you telling me I should go to Rayburn and learn how to use my unit instead of going to Florida and having fun?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Yes, Larry. I am. As your bass fishing coach, I am telling you, you need to get out there and get on the technology, so the time that the live scan is in there, we still got the general in there kicking ass, because that's what we need from you in 21 is you kicking butt. Got it?
That would be nice.
That's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. So I know before that, we got to lay it on the line. Andy, let's interrogate the general before we get out of here. All right? Let's interrogate the General Nixon before we get out of here. Are you ready for this, Larry?
As long as it's fast, I'm getting thirsty.
Okay, we got to know this. All right. Some quick questions here for you. Now, before we asked you about Gentleman George, and I want to know the most trouble that you and Gentleman George have ever been in together, the two of you.
The most trouble?
Yeah, most trouble.
George kind of harassed some hunters one morning in Bahamita. These hunters hole jumped us.
Oh.
We've been hunting this spot for 3 days. And we get there, and one of them is sitting in George's chair, and the other one's got his gun hanging on my limb. And we walk in there, and they shining lights at us, and George just keeps on walking. he gets up there and we get into the darndest argument about hole jumping. And then they get into this argument about harassing hunters.
Uh-oh.
And so George says, if we don't get to hunt here, nobody gets to hunt here. And he's shining his flashlight up in the air off all the ducks. And these guys call the game warden, and the game warden comes. And he interrogates everybody. And when it's all said and done, he told me, he says, look, he said, if they press charges, we're going to have to give y'all big tickets and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he said, if I was you, I'd figure out who they are, and they're wrong.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Move along, son.
And then the game warden said, aren't you that guy from the
Mega
Megabucks?
More, but he didn't give us a ticket. They didn't press charges, but we was pretty nervous for a little bit. One of the boys got a big ticket because he had too many shells in his vest. But I was legal and everything else, and he was the only one that got the ticket.
Yeah, I think that George Cochran's a bigger troublemaker than people let out to be. I think he is.
There was a few more times when we might have done things was a little bit inappropriate in the woods, but it wasn't our fault.
Never is. It's never your fault. Never your fault, Larry. Man, I want to tell you, I think it's great that you took time out of your. I mean, I would be amiss here if we didn't go through a couple things before we let you go. I know you're thirsty. I know you got to get back to poker, and I did talk you out of poker night with the boys. So that's a story I'm going to tell my grandkids, that I talked the general out of playing poker with the boys to come on a Bass and Talk show. But Ryan Whitaker here, Popcorn Whitaker, you remember him from the Forest Wood Cup, and he is a statistical genius. He is a statistical genius, and he has compiled and probed some of the most intelligent people in bass fishing and came up with some Larry Nixon stats that are going to blow your mind, Larry.
Oh, the buildup. Larry, I'm thirsty too. I'm going to make it quick. So we're going to start with your Bassmaster career, your long and storied Bassmaster career. Of course, you fished 260 Bassmaster tournaments. You went to 25 classics, 1 win, 1983. By the way, you're actually my birth angler.
Birth angler. It's like Eskimo brother.
Because you won on the year I was born. In the Ohio River. Tough tournament, 18-1. Yeah. You had 14 wins in your Bassmaster career. You caught 7,537 pounds of bass. You won $1,634,858. And that comes out to $216 per pound of bass.
$216 a pound.
Yes, sir. And furthermore, that came out to every tournament you fished, you averaged $6,287 per tournament in Bassmasters.
He's a check
That's
casher.
pretty good.
Wow. Now, going right down the list, Pale Chartreuse. Oh, that's my notes. FLW. You fished 191 tournaments.
Whoa.
17 cups. 28 top tens. You won $1,895,987, and you averaged $9,926 per tournament at FLW.
Wow.
Now, I combined the two, Bassmaster and FLW. All together, you won $3,530,845, and you averaged combined $7,828 per tournament. And that's out of 451 tournaments.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's a career. We like counting pro anglers' money. That's for sure. Wow. Hey, thank you, man. For being you, Larry Nixon, and being one of the grand inspirers in this game of bass fishing. You have showed us all the right way to do things, the proper way to do things, and and it's pretty cool, man. You are definitely the general of proper bass, and there's no doubt about it. Thank you so much, again, Mr. Nixon, for gracing us this evening. And in 2021, bud, on the old tackle warehouse circuit that you're about to embark on in about 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, on the Big O. Knock 'em out, General. Get it,
So much, guys.
Thank you, Larry.
get it.
Thank you.
Get
Enjoy.
it. Go wet your whistle. That's Larry Nixon, the General. Wow,
Awesome.
unbelievable.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, life moments, man.
Yeah.
Life moments happen on Stray Cast for bass fishing.
Why do we not know that story of why he was named the general?
I
What the
did
hell?
not ever know, and I would have never guessed it was Ninja Turtle Dude.
Yeah.
I would have
Ninja
never
Turtle.
known. Yeah. He's like all sweaty in that
Did they
suit.
accept your?
He was all sweaty in the suit, and he pulled the mask over and said, "The General."
Did they accept your application for the Ninja Turtle job? Or
No, mine?
Yeah.
No,
I thought you applied.
I did. Absolutely, I did. Of course. They had the applications at the FLW Cup, and I put the thing in the box. They didn't pick.
You're too tall for Leonardo.
I didn't. I missed the sign.
Let's give stuff away.
So, hey, if you didn't get a chance to find out about any of this going on right now, Omnia Fishing, in case you still want to buy some soft plastics, what's the code, Jinjo?
I got worms 20.
I got worms 20. What do you got?
I got worms 20.
I got worms 20 too over at omniafishing.com. Any soft plastic baits, kaboom, kapow. You getting the old Jake Haas in on the Zoom boat?
He's waiting on him.
Where's Jake?
Let's go.
Hey, Jake.
He might lose his Chicago Shuffle, Kansas City, Plattsburgh.
Andy's got a hockey date
Yeah,
or something.
let's go.
And he's got a hockey. Oh, sorry. Andy's hurrying up. You guys want to just close the show?
His computer.
Where's Jacob?
Messed up.
Oh.
Does he have the winner?
What's that?
His computer is messed up. He
Oh,
In case anyone's enjoying this,
Gremlins.
we have to go. The
said. He said his computer's messed up.
oh.
okay.
So do we know the winner or anything?
Hold on. I'll get him to text it over.
Hey, Pat.
Talk about a monkey wrench. Like fucking ruined the mood there.
A Dave Grohl sized monkey wrench.
Hey everybody!
Hey.
Welcome to the end of the Straight Cash Show. I'm Pat Renwick. Now it's
Whoa.
time to give away some prizes. What do you think about that? Yeah. All right. What are we giving away? Line and lure?
Line and lure.
Line and lure?
BTS and
The-
Armor shield?
The winner
BTS?
is Carl Yastrzemski.
He,
Carl Yastrzemski, you won.
this kid's
The winner is Pete Lecoq. Pete, you won.
Dick Pole.
Do you know who Pete Lecoq's is? Who's his dad is?
No.
Dick Clark.
Come on.
Oh.
Phil.
No, not him. It's one of those
No,
guys. Yeah.
no.
No. It's another game show host.
Dick Trickle?
No.
Race
stop
car
it.
driver?
Stop it with those jokes. I was being serious.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Who won?
This dude's.
Dun, 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 dun. Play more of that music.
Did he give it to himself?
I don't know, but
Oh, Peter Marshall. Pete Lecoq's father was Peter Marshall. For real.
Okay.
That's a true story.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot. Not Penny Marshall, but Peter Marshall.
Right.
Not Laverne and Shirley. No one knows what we're talking about except me.
Does this
And
guy
I
know
did.
how to party or
No,
what?
It's that kind of party, bruh. All right, we're giving away $50 worth of line and lure conditioner. Aorta. And
Pick a
Aorta.
winner,
oh,
Andy.
I got it. Ready?
Oh, Andy's got a winner.
Jeez.
And this is line and lure.
Look how fast he randomized.
Bow to stern. You're so random. He's so randomly extra. Bow to stern, line and lure, and arm shield.
John Holtz.
John Holtz?
I know John Holtz.
John Holtz?
Yeah.
A teacher, right?
Yeah, he's a teacher. He teaches things.
Teaches
He's-
things to
yes,
people.
He's certified teachable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a thing.
Well, he can teach him
With
about
him.
shining things up and getting longer casts, no?
Yeah, and exactly, line and lure conditioner is now going to make things easier for him to teach because it's
super.
not. It's like line conditioner for your line.
Careful, memory loss drug.
Who dat? Who?
It's a memory loss drug. Memory loss drug.
What is line and lure
Line
conditioner?
and lure, yeah, it takes the memory out.
Oh, true. I forgot what you
a
said
memory
on the
loss
short
drug.
term. I forgot what you said.
Oh, you forgot.
yes, exactly.
I guess it really does work. Don't guzzle it next time.
Hey, wait, hold on. Before we get out of here, I got a special thing I want to do. Keep it going. Keep it going. So, this right here, if you notice, this is a Matstery tickle box.
Mastery.
It's a Matstery.
The tickle box.
Yeah, this is a special thing that Matt from Onum has out. It's a Matstery tickle box. And there's all kinds of weirdly shaped toys in here, but one of the coolest things in here is this right here. The Tightrope Baby Popcorn JP High Firework Jig.
Who are those losers on that package?
They're the guys from Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein.
That's right.
Yes, it's Mel Brooks and the Frankenstein monster, both on here. But if I may recommend, my favorite is the jig that I invented, which is the Tightrope HD, the 3/8 and the is it a half ounce?
3/8 and a half.
3/8 and a half. I invented that jig. In fact,
Cutter clevis.
Yes, it's had as a cutter clevis that I am very refined in my clevises, just so you know. I'm practiced the art of clevises. And for everybody in the know. Thank you so much. If you get a chance, go to tightropefishing.com and buy Ryan and JP's jig and make things groovy.
Yeah, and don't be freaked out by the amount that are sold out. There will be more up tomorrow.
Yeah, he's
an eye
getting to
out.
work. And
They're
buy the
flying.
Cutter Clevis Pat Renwick Signature Series 3/8 HDs, 5/8 on tightrope
halves.
fishing.com and halves and all that good stuff. Thank you to our fine sponsors. Thank you to Isaac Moore at Line and Lure About Astern. He's a scientist and makes all that stuff over there. Thank you, Andrew Ellenberger, for producing and engineering the hell out of this show tonight. Thank you very much, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, for your beautiful statistics. Thank you.
I thought I was going somewhere else.
For your beautiful statistics. Thank you so much, Larry Nixon, the General, for gracing our presence. And I'm Pat Renwick. And next week, we're going to bring you Mark Zona.
Yeah.
Z's coming to hang out. We're going to have a good time. Peace. We'll see you then. I'm going to swim out of here.
Swim.
In this ocean of love. Swimming through this ocean of bass fishing love. And I'm